Hello, everyone. Welcome back to day 2 of the Tribe Building Challenge. I'm really excited to be sharing some information that I think is going to really help you today. So come on in, tell me you're here, show me some love here, and let me know that, if you were able to watch yesterday's video, and if you have any questions, you can post them in the comments. I may not get to all the comments during this training, but I promise you I will get to them. So if you are posting outside of this thread, make sure and tag me so that I can, so I'll find your question. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and get started. And so if you've done a little bit of research from yesterday's training, you have a pretty good idea of where you need to shift in order to identify your audience. So we talked about looking for your audience and who are they and all about you yesterday. We talked about how important it is for you to show up as yourself, right? And it does feel a little weird at first because you don't want to put off anybody that may become a client, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that today. One of the things that got brought up yesterday as well is, hey, Heather, great, I'm so glad you're here. You're having trouble with the live stream. Yeah, you might have to watch the replay, but it might get better. Hopefully it'll get better. But one of the things that we were talking about yesterday was that we need to really go inward to find some of the answers to our business, because this is a personal journey. And a lot of it is really checking back in with yourself. And so one of the ways to do that, we were talking about at the end of the training yesterday, one of the ways to do that is to journal. Another way is to meditate. But if you are, if you have a lot of mind chatter going on, hi, Alonda. If you have a lot of mind chatter going on, then it's going to be kind of difficult for you to sit and meditate. One of the things I noticed that really helps kind of free your mind is to do some repetitive type motion, maybe raking leaves or gardening, or something that you can do automatically, sweeping the floor, vacuuming. Some of these kind of things really help you not focus on one thing. So you're doing something like when I go out and clean up, muck the stalls and clean up the horse stuff, I get a lot of inspiration because I'm not really thinking about stuff. I'm just kind of doing manual labor. So that might help you if you have something that you can go outside and do, or maybe even housework, washing the windows, something like that. That's going to really help you. Okay, it's working now. Great, Heather, thanks. So you've done a little research, right? You've discovered who your people are. You've kind of looked into yourself and your past, and we're going to learn today how to connect to your audience, and find out where your audience is, right? Where do they hang out online? That's always something that was a big question of mine. Like, how do I even find these people, right? So I'm going to talk to you about that. And then finding out what they're talking about so that you know where you can help them, because you want to meet them where they are at, right? Not where you're at as the expert. You've got to find out where they are, and that way you can start talking to them at their level and helping them where they are. That's really important, and a lot of times that's missed in marketing, and that is a key piece. So talking to them where they're at is really important. Now, so we're gonna talk about that, because tomorrow we're talking about content and what kind of content is the best kind of content for you to create for your audience. But in order to know what kind of content to create, we need to find out a little bit more about our audience, where they hang out and what they're talking about, so that when you do create the content, they think of you as the go-to expert. Right? That's where we're getting to. So I just wanted to mention also that If you're not able to watch these videos, or if you want the collection, it is available for $27 during this, 5-day challenge. The price will go up after that. But if you want the package that includes the videos and the action guides for all 5 days, I will drop a link in the comments here, or in the video, or I'll put it somewhere on the page so you can find it. And that way, if you want it, you can purchase it for the $27, and you'll have it forever. So if you want it, it is available. It will be available. Okay. Hi, Dawn. Thanks for joining. Yeah. So I have a resource that's going to be in your email today. If you haven't joined the challenge, you're not going to get the email. So make sure to join the challenge. There's links all over the place to join, because you're going to want this resource. This resource is going to show you where you can find your audience. So it's where people hang out on social media. And you're going to get that in your email today. But make sure you join. If you're just watching the training from the group and you haven't joined the challenge yet, make sure and join by noon today so you can get the email that contains this resource. Hey, Abigail, thanks for coming on. So it's really important to understand what platform your audience is on, right? Because it's different, and you need to know what kind of message is going to resonate with your audience. So today we're going to cover the number one thing that you need to focus on when connecting, and then we'll talk about what really helps to build relationships. And then we'll talk about how to engage your audience. So start to study your people, how they communicate. How is it that they're putting their words out there? How do they talk? And what do they talk about? What are your people talking about? And then what you want to do is you want to write these things down, because it's going to help you when you're creating content, which is what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. So at first, you really want to get to know your audience, and you want to focus on connecting one-on-one with people, okay? Having conversations and building relationships with them. And this is what I see way too often. I see people who are just starting and maybe think they know their audience, but they really don't know them that well, and they want to start a group, or they want to create this big online machine. And I get it, because I was one of those people. Several years ago, I just wanted to create sales pages, and I wanted to put everything out there and not really do the one-on-one connecting, because I was afraid. I didn't know how. And so these are things that we come up against, right? It's like, well, maybe if it's just a little more detached, we can direct traffic to the sales page, and they'll get there, and then they'll buy, or they'll sign up. But I've found that it takes personal invitations. It takes reaching out and inviting people one by one to build your audience. So it's great to have like this challenge, right? I had to do a lot of work manually inviting people, even the people that were on my email list, even the people that were in my group, because we have so much information coming at us all the time that we're not getting the notifications. So it really requires you to just go back to the basics and connect one-on-one with people. It's really a waste of it's going to be a waste of your time if you don't start here. If you don't start to get to know your audience inside and out. It's really important to know all about them, their characteristics, what they're struggling with, what they want, what they're talking about, who they're talking with, who are they looking at, who are they connecting to, who are their influencers that they're looking up to. These things are really important. So the other thing that I see a lot is that people that are just starting out want to jump into this online marketing, and they want to create membership sites or group programs, which, these are great things because they help you leverage. But if you don't know your audience, if you don't know what they're talking about, how they talk, what problems they have, what they want, and how to talk to them, you're not going to get results. And that's just the way that it is. Info oversaturation. Exactly. Exactly, Alonda. And so the thing with online marketing and with online business is it takes big numbers. Okay, it takes a lot of numbers because of the people that actually see your stuff, probably 20% are going to engage with it. They're going to actually maybe open your email or look at your stuff. And then of those 20%, only 1 or 2% of them are going to be your ideal client. So you can see that it takes large numbers. So when you see these experts out there that have these big, amazing online launches and they're getting, making, hundreds of thousands of dollars at one time, it's because they have connected with other influencers who have huge lists. And, maybe they have 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 people on their list. And they're emailing out to them, and a percentage of them are looking at the stuff. And so it takes a lot of numbers and it takes a lot of connection. This is not a game that you can play alone. It's just not. You've got to be able to collaborate with other people, and you've got to be willing to build those relationships. So numbers are really important. And online, you need big numbers. So that's why it's good to have an offline, like maybe you're doing some workshops or you're doing some speaking or you're doing something that's a little bit offline in your community. What would be considered big numbers? Well, that's a good question. So Heather, if you have only 20% of your people that are actually looking at your stuff, and only 1 to 2% of those people are going to be buyers, then you can kind of see what your numbers need to be. So if your email list is, 100 people, you probably have 10 people that are going to look at your stuff, and maybe one of those people is a buyer. So you can see that you need to start building your email list, and we are going to talk about that on day 4. Because that's really an important part of online marketing, online business, is building your email list. But you can't build an email list unless you know how to attract the people that you want to attract. So it starts with identifying your audience, and then it continues to connecting with them. And that's what we're talking about today. So connecting with them. We talked about yesterday being vulnerable, sharing the the real part of you, the real stuff. The other thing is it's really important to be polarizing. That means you want to have an opinion. You want to state your opinion, and you want people to hear your opinion and either resonate with it or not. Because if they don't resonate with it, you don't want them in your audience. You don't want them as part of your tribe. It's going to be like pulling teeth to try to get them, to convince them to believe you, because they don't already from the get-go. So be polarizing. Share with people who you really are and how you really think. That's how you get people on board with you. If you are tiptoeing around and trying to be kind of nicey nice to everybody and agree with everybody, that's not going to work. It's not going to build your audience that you love. It's not going to build an audience that engages with you because they don't get you. They don't agree with you. So let me see what some of these. A lot of people want free and not actually buying. I'm learning that one-on-one is helping me find my need. Yes, one-on-one helps you identify what your audience wants. You can't do it in big masses. You've got to start close to home. You've got to start with the people that are willing to jump on a phone with you, do some interviews, really understand them. Look at what they're talking about online. Yikes, LOL, Heather. Yeah, I know, but see, I'm telling you this because I built an audience when I first started of anybody that would want my stuff. Like anybody who wanted my free gift, come on in. And those people don't engage. They weren't engaging with my email. I took 800 people off my email list last month. 800 people because they're not engaging. And so it just drags down your engagement, drags down your open rates, and you don't want that. You want people that are engaging. So if they're not your people, that's okay. There's somebody else's people, and there's more than enough of your people. Walking on glass, no fun. Exactly. Layla, how do we know if our email has been marked as spam? Um, most of the email service providers that you have will have a spam checker. They all have a spam checker, so you can actually see what, they either score it or they tell you it's passed. But what I always do is I always tell people in my like on my thank you page, I try to make sure you check your promotional and spam folders if you don't see this email. And that way you're telling people where to look in case they don't find the email. And remember, people are like instant gratification, split second, right? They want to know that if they opt into something, they want it. And if it's in an email and you don't tell them go look for it, they're going to lose track and they're not going to get it. So it's like you have to be fast. So on your thank you page, you can write a little note and say, check your inbox. And if you don't see it, check your spam folders and your promotional folders. And the other way to get emails to open to people for your email service provider to recognize that it's not spam is if you ask people to respond to you. So I like to hear from my audience. I love to hear from my audience. I love to hear back about what they're doing, how things are going, what they're working on, what's new in their business. And when people respond back to me, the email service provider knows that it's not spam because there's a back and forth engagement. So engagement and relationships really important in all of this stuff. Alonda, I found that I have lost friends while on my journey, and that's okay. They were not your people. Yeah, and it's really unfortunate to lose friends. They just don't get you. But this is a personal journey. And if you are being called to step up and deliver a message, if you really feel like you're being pulled in a direction, if you feel like you're being guided to do something bigger than what you're doing now, then it's just part of the process that the people that are not your people fall away. And sometimes this happens with family members, and it doesn't mean that you have to get a divorce or not talk to your family, but they don't get you. So don't hang out with them in your business. Like, keep your business stuff to yourself and to the people that get you, because they don't. My husband still doesn't get what I do. Abigail says, I'm looking for those people one-on-one. Yes, that's important. Don says, I took 2,000 of my friends list last month. Don, tell me more about that. I'm not sure what you're saying about your most don't get you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and so in your content, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow, but in your content, you really want to speak to that person that gets you, right? You don't want to skip around and be everybody's best friend, because it doesn't work to help you stand out as an expert in your area with your philosophy as the go-to person. They need to get you. And if they don't get you, that's okay. Most don't get you, and that's okay. You just haven't found your people yet. Layla says, so true. Many of my friends don't get what I'm doing in front of the laptop. I know that, yes, people don't get it. But here's the thing. This is a new business model. It's only been around for 10, 15 years, right? 10 years ago, people weren't becoming coaches, and it was just brand new. So we are in a new paradigm. We're in a new business model, and people don't get it. But that's okay, because you're in the forefront, right? You're in the forefront of this. So you're on the leading edge. We are at the leading edge. Don, people that don't correspond with me off. You took people off that don't correspond with you. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Heather says, we just have to make sure not to take it personally. We can't be everything to everybody. My family does not get what I do, and that's okay. Exactly. You can't be everything to everybody. And if your family doesn't get you, don't, don't talk to them about what you're doing because they don't get it. And they're just going to, you know, they're either going to mock you or they're going to say things to negate what you're doing, and that just doesn't feel good. Having people get us, is that the words you choose when you post on email? When you post or in email? So what you want to do, Heather, is you want to, like, I'm teaching you guys my philosophy as I talk, right? I mean, you know that I'm spiritual. You know that I have certain beliefs. You know that I'm very passionate about what I do. You know this about me because of what I'm talking about. And in my emails, people know me because of what I talk about and how I talk. And those people that get me really like me. The people that don't get me, it's okay. I'm okay with that. There's a lot of people out there in this world. There's a ton of people out there in this world. And you just need to find the people that are your people. And they may not be their people or their people or their people. And so maybe they don't get you. And that's okay. That's really okay. Okay. So always give value. When you're emailing out to people, you want to make sure that you're giving them value. And that means knowing what they want, right? So what do your people want? What do they want? What are they asking for? What are they struggling with? Be supportive, be empathetic, be helpful. You can never give too much away except on your one-on-one services. You don't want to have free coaching sessions. Discovery calls are different than free coaching sessions. You don't want to give away free stuff like your time unless it's for market research. Because if you do that, then it's just not valuable anymore. Don says, it doesn't serve anyone to be something that you're not. Yeah, exactly. And this whole process of becoming an entrepreneur is really getting to know who you are and being okay with yourself, being okay with who you are, being okay with your uniqueness, right? Alonda, you're like a BFF because I connect with you at a deep level. Yes, yes. My clients are my BFFs. They are. I could hang out with any of them and have, a deep conversation or have fun or be myself around them. I don't want to attract people that I don't feel comfortable around, right? And neither do you. You don't want to build a tribe of people that you have to be somebody different than who you are. It's just, that's no fun. No fun. So, be vulnerable. Be who you are. Share your philosophies. Share your beliefs. Don't worry if people go, she's a nut. They're not your people. And it's okay, because there's lots of people out there. When you're trying to attract a dedicated tribe and grow people who understand you, the only way to do that is to be yourself. And be yourself in the moment. I mean, it's not like I spent a lot of time going, well, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Trying to think about it. It's not about that. It's who are you in the moment? Because we are all becoming something greater. We're all becoming the person who we want to be. And so who are we being in the moment? That's how you be. That is how you show up, is who you want to be in the moment. Let's see. Dawn, amen. Finding out who you are is what it's all about. Finding that you're worthy, finding that journey. It's not easy. It's not an easy journey. Life is not an easy journey, but we're not here for it to be, easy all the time. It's a discovery. It's a process of discovery, right? I believe we're here to find out what brings us joy. And what brings us joy is what we have, our gift that we can give of service to other people. Because who wants to be stuck in a job? Who wants to create a business that they don't like? That's not why we're creating businesses. We don't want to create a business that we're trapped in. You're creating your own business. You get to choose who you want to work with, what your business is about. This is stuff you get to choose. So be caring, be caring when you interact. You want to be honest. You want to be yourself. So when you create content, make sure that it reflects your beliefs, your philosophy, because they're drawn to experts who are genuine and passionate, who they can feel the energy of. And so when you show up, you want to show up with your energy. Like, I talk with my hands. I get really excited. That's me. If people don't like that, they're not my people, right? And it's okay. So be uniquely genuine. Be passionate about what you're passionate about. Don't be afraid. It's uncomfortable at first. I will agree with that. But practice makes perfect. Like I said yesterday, showing up in front of the camera is not a normal thing that we're used to doing. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you become. And so you can practice in front of your own camera. You can practice in front of the mirror. You can practice. There's a lot of ways you can practice to get more comfortable. So when you build this emotional connection with people, when you're vulnerable, when you're sharing your passions, when you're sharing your beliefs, it builds this emotional connection. And that's what you want. You want the emotional connection. You don't just want facts and figures. And if you're just posting out facts and figures, there is no connection. You're not going to connect with your audience. They might like something, they might go, yes, but they're not emotionally connected. And so they're not going to be part of your people. I hope that makes sense. So you can find your people in groups. So there's Facebook groups, there's LinkedIn groups, there's Instagram pods, there's stories, there's, you can go live in front of them, there's Twitter chats, there's all kinds of things, all kinds of ways that you can find your people. And all of these ways allow you to share advice, have communication with your people, and regularly connect with them and build engagement. Because when you're building engagement, when you're being yourself, your tribe, your people will believe in you. They're going to resonate with you. They're going to want to know more about what you're talking about. They're going to want to see behind the scenes. They're going to want to know about your, whatever you do in your time that you're not online. People like to know that stuff. So Facebook groups, Instagram pods, LinkedIn groups, all these things can help you connect with your people. And it just depends on who your audience is. So if they're professionals, they're likely on LinkedIn. Now there's a lot more people coming onto LinkedIn, but historically it's been a corporate or business type, small business world on LinkedIn. If they're entrepreneurs, they're going to be on Facebook or Instagram. If they're techie or, what we used to call yuppie, I don't know what the term is nowadays, but, the up and coming young males, they're going to be on Twitter. They're mostly on Twitter. Techie people. If your audience is really visual, they're going to be on Instagram or Pinterest. So if your brand is visual, that's where you need to hang out. So the specific demographics and information is going to be sent out to you in an email today. So you're going to have a resource to say, to look at and say, oh, this is my audience here. This is the platform that I should be on. So that's going to really help you when you're looking. The thing is that you can search in your groups, especially on Facebook, you can search in groups for keywords. Now, keywords or words that your audience uses. So I was helping somebody the other day search the groups and search for their client solution, what the solution that their client is looking for. So what is your client looking for? What do they want? What are they talking about? And if you don't know, then you start hanging out in groups so you can kind of spot the people. and connect with what you're doing, what service you're providing, and what people are wanting. So there's got to be that, your expertise, what they want, those are your people. And then you can start searching using the search bar in Facebook for keywords, talking about, what their problems are, what they want, how they want to interact. And we'll talk more about the solution and the content tomorrow, like I said. But, use social media. Social media is kind of like an avenue to your soul. It's how people see inside you. It's how you can really be genuine and connect to people. You're building relationships. You're not just posting and talking at people. And that takes time. It's not an overnight process to build your audience. It takes time. And I'm not seeing any new posts, but I hear them. So let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything new. Okay, so a relationship, remember, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It's a process, right? And sometimes it can take time for us to be comfortable on social media and be comfortable posting about ourselves. What you do not want to do is you don't want to post the drama that you're going through. So if you're going through any stuff, and we all go through stuff, right? We all learn by going through stuff. But if you're going through it and you're in the middle of a mess, you don't want to post about that. But you do want to post about what you found out after you've gone through that mess, if it can help your audience. So say you had this big realization and you were struggling with it and you found something out, and it's something that your audience would benefit from. You could make a post and say, oh my gosh, I was really having a hard time with this, but I found out this. And that's going to help your audience, right? So these are the kind of things, but don't post when you're, I'm in the middle of a, don't do that. Because nobody wants, that's just drama, right? You don't want to post your drama, and you want to be, seen as the expert. So post stuff after you've already learned a lesson about it. Look for things that inspire you, that will inspire your audience and bring them joy. So that's why like inspirational quotes are really popular. And you can create like blog posts, long form posts that, and you can create short form posts, but you can take your blog post and you could repurpose it into emails, and you can repurpose it into your social media posts and whatever platform you're using. So don't reinvent the wheel every time. Use the stuff that you've already created. And then what's really easy is when you have that inspiration and you have that story to tell, it's a story from your experience. So it's not like hard to drag out of you. It's right there. You already know it. So I hope that makes sense. So there's a lot of ways to connect with your tribe, and you just have to find the platform that they're on social media. And then we're going to talk more about how to drive traffic to your page on day 4. But tomorrow we're going to be talking about how to create content for your tribe. So what I want you to do now is I want you to post any more comments that you have on this video, and I'll make sure to get back to them. And look for the email. And then also there's going to be the question of the day posted. So make sure that you post that. Oh, and I forgot to do the raffle. So check your email, and don't go yet, because I'm going to do the raffle for day number 1. So I've got I don't know if you can see all these different things that I have in here. I don't know if you can see all the different numbers that I put together, everybody that commented, and I put, the number of comments. I've got a spreadsheet, and I keep track of all that stuff. So today, the raffle is for a 30-minute strategy planning session. So we're not just going to do a strategy. There's actually a form that you fill out that we're going to go over, and I'm going to help you plan so that you can become more visible. So it's a visibility planning session. So that's what the person winning today is, and the winner is, let's see, number one. Layla, you are number one. Layla, you won the visibility. So congratulations on that, and keep posting, keep engaging, because everybody has a chance to win each day. And then at the end, I'm going to total up all of the points, and whoever has the most points is going to be put into the raffle for the grand prize. So you still have a chance to win. So congratulations, Layla. And I talk a lot, so sorry about not keeping this to 15 minutes, but I hope it's been valuable for you. I hope that you've gotten a lot out of it. And if you have any more questions, let me know. Post, engage, and I'm here today. Yesterday I was in town all day, and I apologize for not getting back to you quicker, but today I will. Yes, you won. You won. So Layla, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you the link that you can sign up for my calendar, and that will take you to the form to fill out, so that we'll have the information and we'll get a lot done in that 30 minutes, okay? All right, you guys, thank you so much for showing up. Check your email in about an hour and answer the question on the page, and I will see you guys later. Bye.